Hi everyone, so we are at City Hall today going to celebrate that we got our injunction, and we also have Councilman Baron here. We're also going to dispel some of the myths that are being thrown at the council by the unions. We think it's important that you hear it. So stand by, we're going to start in a few seconds. Where are we going? We are live.
You guys know you're having this competition down here?
How's that? Everyone get inside. You're in charge of this. Okay? Just make sure you can see where you gotta go. Come on in. Am I just standing out here? Really? That's Sarah? Can you see in? Or come closer, I don't care. Come in everyone, I gotta close the gate. Step in and move back. Come. If you're coming in, come in. No, don't leave it out there. Come on. You gotta take it with you. Hi! How are you?
Hello. People wanna know who we are. So we tell them
We are the retirees.
we are the retirees, the mighty, mighty retirees.
What's the park place? Park place.
Move back everybody about 5-10 steps.
People wanna know
Get your elbows down. You got
who we are.
So we tell them
So we tell them
we are the retirees.
we are the retirees,
Mighty retirees.
the mighty, mighty retirees. Fight back retirees. Fight back retirees.
Fight back retirees.
Fight back retirees.
What do we want? Healthcare. What do we want?
Healthcare.
What do we want?
Healthcare.
What do we want it? Healthcare. When do we want it?
Now.
Shut it down.
Shut it down. Shut it down. Shut it down.
If we don't get it,
Shut it down.
what do we want?
Healthcare.
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 When do we want it?
Now.
When do we want it?
Now.
When do we want it?
Now.
If we don't get it,
Shut it down.
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 Ready. Let's go.
You got a mic?
Right here. Mike,
Thank you.
we found it.
Welcome everyone. It's great to see you again, and I'm sorry the weather, but we're in July. Activism is not for the faint of heart. It's also not for Italians that sweat. But I thank you for all coming out again. So there's a couple things we want to address today, and we have a few people that we're going to have speak to you as well. But first I want to clear up a few things. One, we have one very monumental thing that we want to be grateful for, and that's for Manhattan Supreme Court Justice Lyle Frank. Granting a preliminary injunction stopping the city from forcing us into Medicare Advantage, stripping us off of our traditional Medicare and GHI senior care supplements. This was a good day for us.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
We know that this is temporary, and this is why we have also, instead of just relying upon the court for justice, that Councilman Baron asked if he could spearhead our legislation which would protect retirees, Intro 1099. And so we're also here. We're also here to talk about that. While our group, the retirees, have been working very hard to get the council to understand why it is that we need this intro, The unions are also very hard at work working against us, and some of those talking points need to be clear, and we want to be on the record about that. We know that our labor history is, many of us have been around when this code, the Administrative Code 12-126 was legislated by the very body, the City Council, in 1967. That law came after the Taylor Law and New York City collective bargaining were passed. So we know that that law is not illegal, yet they keep spreading the lie, the big lie, that the amendment that the councilman would like to make to the administrative code is illegal and that it bars their collective bargaining. It does not, because as we all know, the Taylor Law does two things. It prevents municipal workers from striking, and it also allows for unions to collectively bargain for those with wages, hours, and working conditions, those in their unit. All of these wonderful people here today are retired. We don't have wages, hours, and work conditions. So therefore, they cannot negotiate for us. We are protected. I've also shared with many of you, including the press that's here today, some audio clips from the Municipal Labor Committee saying that our bill in itself is not in violation of any law. However, they did say that it would create financial pressure onto the city. If the city had to pay for retired workers, that's less money that could go to them. So thereby, sadly, that is what they said, and you can go up onto our YouTube channel and you'll hear that lawyer for the MLC, UST, DC 37 Sanitation say exactly that. You're welcome. That's the other thing. Thank you for reminding me. The Health Insurance Stabilization Fund. So the other point the unions are saying is if you pass Councilman Baron's legislation, then we would have to pay premium on our health care. Well, my answer to that is, what did you do with your pot of money?
Tax the rich.
Yes.
Tax the rich.
So the Health Insurance Stabilization Fund is not a fund that pays premium for Medicare eligible retirees. It was created in 1986 to fund a premium difference between what the city has to pay up to and the GHI plan that everybody likes. That's it. It pays for some other ancillary benefits like welfare fund stuff, which is primarily what a Medicare eligible person would get out of a stabilization fund. But make no mistake, that fund had one purpose. And because the unions and the MLC, and I want to clarify that, let's say not the union, the Municipal Labor Committee leadership made the mistake of misusing that fund over and over again, taking $1 billion, taking $1 billion out of that fund in 2014 to advance the UFT teachers contract, as well as that years of round of collective bargaining.
Shame on them! Shame on them! Shame on them! Shame on them!
So when they took that money out of the stabilization fund to use for raises instead of the one purpose it was created for, they created a deficit. They also took extra money out of that fund that they didn't need to take to enrich their welfare funds. That is something that retirees on Medicare do benefit from. However, when that fund was founded, New York City negotiated with the unions to put $30 million into that fund every year. Today, that fund only gets $35 million. If they have the one powerful thing that we don't as retirees, collective bargaining, then they should have collectively bargained to make sure that the city put more money in that stabilization fund. And just like you and I have a savings account and a checking account, when our balance starts to dip, we know that we need to do something to either cut back or make more money to put money in that account to cover our debt. However, this leadership unfortunately decided that they were going to enrich themselves by stealing from these people.
That's what they did.
And we are going to stop
Get the
that.
DA brag on it. Get the DA on it. Investigations.
That'd be great if DA Bragg could look into that.
Directive 12!
I hear you. I understand. That's all I've got. I'm sorry.
Somebody gotta go to jail.
No. Then come closer to me. Come here. Listen, we're a retiree group on a budget. That's all I got. But I want to make it crystal clear. The councilman is trying to help the retirees because he understands what's going on. And it's important that we're able to get the rest of the city council members behind our legislation. Yesterday, we had two more people, Councilman Botcher and Bob Holden, join our legislation. We are up to 14 now. We know we want to get to 34. So with that, I want to also introduce some of our sponsors that are here today with us. Councilman Baron, would you like to speak to the people?
Power to the people! Power to the people! Power to the people! Power to the people! We will win. That's right. Because we are right. To sign my message to my council members, send in your 1099. That's the number of my bill. Send in your 1099. Say, council members. Council members. Council members. Council members. Send in your 1099. Your 1099. Sign on. Sign on to our bill. To our bill. Or we signing you off. Or we signing you off. Brothers and sisters, let me be very, very clear. We're talking about a $107 billion city budget. That's right. We're talking about $8 billion in a reserve account. We're talking about this city paying for the last 57 years. Today is $439 million for you. That is chump change in this budget. The city should be shamed on themselves. Say, shame on you! Shame on you! Shame on you! Shame on you! You got money for the PPA. You got money for DC 37's leadership. You got money for UFT. Then you need to have money for our retirees.
Where's the money?
We know that any union leader that says they can't do collective bargaining because of my bill, they need to be fired. That's right. You don't need to lead anybody if you can't do collective bargaining with a bill that allows you to do it.
All right.
So we know that's a lie.
It's a cover.
And anybody that says it's going to cost the city has a surplus in the budget because they had an unexpected $4 billion coming from Wall Street. So money's not the problem, Mayor Adams is the problem. The money's there, but the will of the leadership and the unions and the will of the mayor is not there. We should make him a one-term mayor. One-term mayor. One-term mayor. One-term mayor. One-term mayor. One-term mayor. We want to thank this judge for the temporary restraining order. And we are thankful that this is the judge that will be hearing the case as well. So I am certain we can have a double victory, a legislative victory and a litigation victory. I want to also thank, I have my staff here, Mr. Omar Clay, my Deputy Chief of Staff, Mr. Karan Allen, my hard-working constituent service, Anna Fisher, and my hard worker with our seniors, Rosalind McIntyre, that young man that's taking pictures, Vincent Virtually constituent services, but I saved the best for last. Oh, where's Joy? Oh, Joy Simmons. Joy Simmons takes care of our budget matters. Everything that's why I know all these numbers, because Joy Simmons makes me smarter than what I really am. Give Joy Simmons a big hand. I saved the best for last. I have another identity. My name is also Mr. Inez Baron. So here is the love of my life. Inez Baron. Before I say anything or write anything, she checks me at the door. Let me see that. Make sure I got it all right. And she has been in the education system for 36 years. She retired as a principal, and we also all are members of Operation Power. Operation Power. Power is the great equalizer. When you have power, people cannot mess with you. When other people think they have power over you, that's a problem. I also want to big up Brenda Walker. Raise your hand, Brenda. She's a member of Operation Power. And we want to big up all the people who have been helping us. So let me say this to you and make this very clear. I did not get my seat back because of you. I did not get my seat back because of some union. You know, I must be a bad man because everybody's claiming victory. First I saw an article in the New York Post and the PBA said we brought a truck into his district, put his picture on it, and said he wants to defund the police. That's why he didn't get the seat back. Well, I hate to disappoint you, PBA, but people were calling me up and say, Charles, I saw your picture on the truck, I'm gonna vote for you. They didn't even read the stuff underneath. And then the Jewish community in East New York said, we did it. We had 400 or 500 votes, and we did it. Then Hakeem Jeffrey said, oh no, I did it. Then the union said, no, I'm a bad man. Everybody wants to take credit, but the only thing they did is make me larger than life. They wouldn't do nothing. They own all of that, hundreds of thousands of dollars, unions all over the place. They got 3,000 votes. That is the same amount they always get when I beat them. We beat them for 20 years. We beat Hakeem Jeffries and his puppet candidates for 20 years. The reason why we didn't get it this time, our people thought we was going to do it again, so they stayed home. And they didn't come out to vote. So don't let anybody tell you the unions beat us. And for my council members, don't be afraid because the unions didn't beat us and the unions can't beat you because it's the leadership, not the rank and file. Not the rank and file. So, power to the people. Power to the people. Power to the people. Power to the people. What do we want? When do we want it? Now. What do we want? When do we want it? Now. When do we want it? Now. When do we want it? Now.
Thank you, everyone. I have another council person that would like to speak, Councilman Ari Kagan.
No, I love you. I'm Councilman Baron and I'm proud to represent 47th District of South Brooklyn. But I'm New York City Councilman, so I care about entire New York City and all New Yorkers. I said it before, I will repeat it again. We are talking about hundreds of thousands of people who made our city better, safer, cleaner for decades. So I believe Judge Friend did a very right thing. Congratulations on our first victory. You'll be many more victories. I said it before, I will repeat it again. We will win this battle because we're on the right side of the history. Am I right about this? Yes. What do we want? Medicare. When do we want it? Now. What do we want it? Medicare. When do we want it? Now. Also, every day I open another newspaper, another website. City saying we don't have money for retirees. It's too expensive. Millions of dollars, very expensive. All of a sudden, Department of Health sending letters with $5 bills for a survey, $9 million total operation. Because they wanted people to open this envelope. So $9 million to the garbage, they do have this money. But no money for retirees. Yesterday I learned they're going to provide free cell phones with prepaid plans for people who are released from Rikers Island so they can connect to people they wanted. Another expense. Every day I'm learning more and more. They spend millions of dollars of expenses. The city doesn't have this money. And we're spending them on our own priorities. But we don't have money for people who made our lives here so much better for many, many years. And it's absolutely wrong. That's why I do not buy these financial excuses that there is no money. They have money, but for the wrong priorities. And we are the right priorities. Because again, we are New Yorkers, we care about this city, we love this city, and we proved it already by working very hard to make this city better. That's why financial excuse is not an excuse at all.
Tax the rich.
Yes.
Tax the rich.
Talking about letters from unions, leadership, sending to council members, oh, this is terrible deal, oh, this is terrible idea. To save retirees is terrible idea. The best idea is to find money for some kind of other nonsense. Then we will find money tomorrow. But to save the soil of New York City, we don't have money. So I strongly support you. I support you from the very first second until the victory. It will be victory guaranteed. We will do this. And we have fantastic leadership. And the most important, we talk about hundreds of thousands of New Yorkers. This is not one person battle, not 50 people battle. This is New York City battle. And we need to win this, and we will win this. Litigation, legislation, and motivation. You're very motivated people. So we will win it. Thank you so much.
And that's really important because we do need to take this on a litigation and legislation. But the council members that we kept calling this week that say that they're on the fence, they need to get off the fence. Several of them, including a few from Staten Island, have said, you just get that bill to the floor and we'll get on it.
Yeah, where are they?
I don't know, do you see them? I don't see them. And then other council members will tell us, well, you know, the unions keep telling us it's illegal, or the unions keep telling us that there's no funding. It doesn't need funding. It's been funded since 1967. It doesn't need to be a special funding. The law currently reads the city will pay, as the judge said, will pay the full cost of health insurance up to the HIP HMO for every employee, retiree, and their dependent. Our funding has been in the budget since 1966. So, if it's not there today, where did it go? Remember, Medicare retiree health care has been a line item in the budget since 1966. It doesn't need a special funding. It also does not come out of the Health Insurance Stabilization Fund. And I'm going to say this till I'm blue in the face. Someone needs to put rules in place and look into why the Stabilization Fund has been misused the way it has. It's not supposed to have been used that way. It was never supposed to be used for health care. It was always supposed to be used for health care. It was never supposed to be used for raises or filling budget gaps by greedy mayors. We used to have a controller, Bernie Rosen. Everyone would go to Bernie and say, hey, I need some money. You know where we can find it? And Bernie would always find some corner of the budget where he could eke out a couple $1 million to put things in to pay for something that was important. So not only are we keep saying that our health care is already funded, but we're also calling on the controller. Do what Bernie used to do. channel him to find out what corner of the budget you can make sure that the people who had these promises stay on traditional Medicare with a senior care supplement forever, like we were promised.
That's right.
I'm not buying lies. We're just going to keep calling them out, and I'm sick and tired of having to debunk them. But if you don't call those lies out, those lies stand as truth. And I'm not going to let that happen, and neither are any of these people.
That's right. Call them out.
We're not taking it anymore. So, listen, it's hot out. Are you okay, John? So I'm going to try to end this here. Everyone, thank you for coming out. Thanks for being here. Thank you to the media for coming. We appreciate you listening, because clearly you've been with us this whole ride, and it's been 2 years and it's still not over. And now this is clearly going to keep getting into a bigger fight. As long as the unions keep putting out misinformation, I want you to make sure you promise us that you fact check everything they put out. When they tell you, or Jonah Allen tells you, that this plan is cheaper, and look, we even gave you a cap, a $1,500 cap a year, make sure you call our organization, because we're going to tell you we didn't need a cap. We don't have costs past our deductible on our health care plan. We didn't need a $1,500 cap. Right there, that says, walking out the door, we're paying $1,500 more a year than we paid last year. Every time he says, oh, but we give them extra perks like silver sneakers. These are the only silver sneakers I think we should be having. Those that know me know I wear glitter sneakers. So, that's it. There's no reason you're not going to bribe us with a perk, a ride to a doctor that doesn't take this plan. We simply want our health care.
Yes.
Everyone, thank you. Have a great day. Go someplace cool. Be safe. And we're going to keep doing this until this is done. Love you. You got gold sneakers.
Alrighty, we're gonna go into the council. Okay. Good. I don't think he did. Yes, we are. We are. Yes. Okay. Normally, like it's no, just keep emailing. Joe Borelli is fun. That I know. I'm telling you.
There's an opening over here.
Here, right here. You got it.
Hello.
Yeah, everything. I got it.